I move as presented.
By Doug, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes from the fourth. Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes from August 4th.
I do have one comment on that. I just
Go
noticed
ahead.
it. The bottom of the first page of the minutes, it says administrator presented updates. And regarding, at the last, it says regarding a plan being formed for operating of the county jail. I believe that should have been courts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't report.
It's funny, you have to correct your own. So you can see
I know, my mistake.
Everybody else sees it. Okay, all in favor with the correction?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign.
No conflict.
Any public comment?
Or, yeah, so the question is, do you then try to offload some of these on the CCS one so we can
Is that an indication that we're hearing about public comment?
That's,
Pardon? I can hear, is there?
So
Do we want them to do that, or do we want them to do?
is that Tanya?
Yeah,
Tanya, you're up. You need to mute or?
Yeah.
Okay.
well, go ahead. Tanya.
I don't think she has a comment. I think
Oh, no comment.
she's listening in to me. Yeah.
We'll mark it down as a no comment. There's, are there no comments? Okay, we'll move on to the receipt of information from supervisors not seen, nobody here. Updated presentation, Administrator Ms.
Yeah, okay, I'll just, a couple of quick things, because I always like, a priority around here is the public safety with COVID. If you look at our database, we're up to a total positive cases of 171. The infection rate is at 2.2% of all people who are tested, and that's compares to about 6% for the state. Currently, we have 17 in quarantine. So it is remaining relatively consistent, but right now, as you know, the schools are opening, students are going in, and so our public health is working closely with the schools and communicating to make sure that we're on top of anything that comes up there. The other thing, I'll just quick note on the future prospects of the county. I'm kind of excited. If you have not heard yet, a couple of our villages are looking at starting a new TID. So tax incremental district, where basically suggesting we think there is future growth opportunities. One is in Clayton, one is in Osceola. And what that means to us is that there may be some developmental opportunities in roads and highways that come into play and so on. So it's a good sign. That's all I have.
Okay, any comments on that or any?
All I have is, Osceola School District had a positive student right before school started. And I think it was a teacher or whatever, but they were quarantined and stuff, and it didn't involve the people going back, the kids going back to school and all, so that's
Good. Well, and probably the one question we get in the county the most is, hey, I know somebody who has been tested positive for COVID. What should I do? Or I haven't been called yet, but we do have a very strict protocol where public health and their tracing nurses and the nurses down there will investigate or identify people who may be at risk and contact them. If they haven't been contacted by the nurse, it's because they shouldn't be considered at risk. But just in those cases, they just monitor their own symptoms.
Any other comments? Can I ask a question, Mr. Chair?
So can anybody call our health department and just test it in our health department up here?
At this point, we're not opening it up for anybody who wants to. There has to be some reason. They've been exposed or they're experiencing
If
symptoms.
they got a temperature reading or something, they can call our department.
Sure, that would be fine. If they have any concerns, they can call them. But, you know, on our webpage, public health webpage, there are protocols and directions, and it's all there. But if they're like me and they don't like to read all that stuff, they may just pick up the phone. But they can go right to that website and get their answers.
Well, let's see. Highway Commissioner, Mo, what have you got for us?
Good afternoon. Just a quick update on projects. We finished paving and shouldering County Road K from 65 to double P. That's just waiting paint now. Also finished milling, paving, shouldering County Road I from Georgetown Hall North. How's that? Much better. So that's currently waiting paint also. That kind of wraps up the major portion of our construction projects. We are looking at one more project to, depending on funding left over, running our numbers now to see where we land on those. Right now then we're working on bridge aid culverts for Clam Falls and McKinley. We got a couple large pipes going up there. We're screening sand in the Bergman pit and getting our sanders ready for this season. We'll have salt coming in also. Starting to stock our sheds up with that. A quick over with that. Also on the state system, 150th and Highway 8 is still going on under construction, working on the south side of that road. And then the project in downtown Amory on 46 with the utilities and the reconstruct of that, that's set to begin next spring. They're ready to go for bids for that. And also the detour for that will be County Road A, east to 63, 63 north to Highway 8 and back again to 46. That'll be the official detour of that due to 46 will be closed there right at the family restaurant there on the south side of those traffic lights.
Oh, the whole main street, huh?
The whole main street.
And how long will that take,
I don't have the construction date on those for timeline.
approximate?
Majority of the summer, that one will be down.
Chairman, I have one question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, this isn't a road question, but could I get an update on the museum? And the reason we're asking is they're asking for donations, and we drove down and tried to give donations, and another fellow was there, and it's all locked up, and we can't get a hold of anybody.
Due to COVID right now, they haven't opened their doors this summer for that, so they have not been open this summer for that.
Okay.
I'd have to talk to Gretchen to see if they're, Greta, if they're doing any events for that. Currently due to COVID, they haven't been open.
Okay.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Do we have an accident report on that, railing right outside of Nye?
No, I don't.
Sure mailed it to the sheriff.
Sheriff might know a little more on that one. I don't have any details on
You
that.
sure?
County Road M.
He's coming from the west.
Somebody sure
West
want
on
that guard railing right out in north of, or west of Nye there, where they ripped out, 2 or 3 sections of a week ago Friday. Was there an accident report with that, or?
No update.
But it was,
You don't know everything that's going on.
you're gonna have to replace those sections?
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll be replaced if there's an accident report and insurance, then we'll go out to the insurance company for the replacement cost.
That was the point of my question, is if there's an accident report that somebody else is gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
It's pretty extensive.
Yeah, those ends are cheap. So I'll follow up with that, see where we stand with it.
Yeah, it was way out to the point of blacktop.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Have no other questions, Mo?
We gonna find anything out on,
Foreman went down there and limbed some trees out down there. They did limb some down.
I haven't been down.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Mo. Sheriff, what have you got for us, if anything?
All kinds of good stuff.
We had a busy month in August.
Yeah.
One of the heartbreaking things, we had to put one of our canines down. The dog was showing signs of an illness and ultimately was diagnosed with some cancer and had to be put down. So the dog was in his prime. He was 5 years old. That was Jaeger, or Jaeger. And, I've been fortunate in Polk County here. I've worked with every canine dog. The first dog we ever got was Cody with Steve Smith. The next dog was Mac. Deputy Rick Beerhart was his handler. Then we had Kaiser, which was Nick Bryant's, and then Jaeger was the fourth ever canine here. So it's been a privilege for me to see all these dogs work, and each guy seems to take it to the next level. We've had great success with the canine program, and this is a setback, but we're working on a plan to go forward. So that's been a difficult process. We've had several crashes in August, but we did not have any traffic fatality in August. We had a drowning over the weekend that made the paper. Very sad situation. Gentleman jumped in Bone Lake and must have hit his head and drowned. So very sad, very difficult situation. Drug activity was very busy. We had approximately 65 drug investigations. We did 18 search warrants. 37 felony charges came out of those search warrants. 12 misdemeanors, and we've taken approximately 89 grams of meth in the month of August. Other drugs found were some heroin and mushrooms, and that's always kind of a consistent. We get a little bit of some oddballs in there. Heroin is not a real prevalent problem in our county, but occasionally we do find some. We've been busy on investigations. We've had a homicide that happened last week in Amory. I can't comment on any of these because they are pending cases. We also assisted in the attempted homicide portion of the shooting that occurred in St. Croix Falls. And then we're also assisting with an overdose death that happened in the county with another agency we're assisting. And that is viewed as a homicide investigation if we can prove who gave the drugs to the person who overdosed. We were approved for a speed wave grant that gives our officers the opportunity to go out on weekends and work speed patrol. So we have good luck with that. It affords the deputies to come out on time off and work and address the traffic issues. We've had 10 fatalities so far this year, and those 10 fatalities, about half of them are linked to drug abuse. So drugs are affecting our community in a lot of ways. Our jail population is still low. It's hovering around 57. We are short 3 positions now due to resignations in the jail, and we are starting a process to fill those positions. So that is underway. In the jail with programs, we're getting started getting GED program with WITC this fall. I'm very excited about that. Drug testing for treatment court is going well. And the jail technology upgrade is starting, and that was at the adding of cameras. That was at several phases. This is the final phase of getting those cameras installed. COVID has slowed that process down, so we're getting going. The other thing we had is we had our computer-aided dispatching system updated, and for the last week it's been, the IT guys are really working hard. I mean, they are putting a lot of time in to get that record system rolled over, and some of, like Don and I, for example, review the sheriff's report. That's been down because of the IT changeover. Chad is over there a lot working, so I thank you as well, Chad, for your hard work. It's quite a project when you look at what it takes to update these record systems. That's all I have for you. Any questions?
Anybody have anything?
I think we got a big ticket item coming up next year for the, patrol cars, for the computers and stuff in them? Or is that coming up for being deleted or updated?
Well, yeah, we're gonna be talking about the budget update, we can talk about that. Yeah, there's, it is frustrating, the cost of technology. And, it's,
But you gotta have it.
in the day after you buy it, it's obsolete, it seems like, but, you know, that's the world we live in. So we are getting due, and I'd like to point out, we just got Windows 7 taken off of them. And that was well past the end of the life. So we've really been fortunate in the fact that what we've had, we've stretched to the edge, to the end, and we've gotten by, so. Anything else?
Okay, thanks, Sarah. ATV, UTVs. Okay. We've just been discussing with Malia in reference to the ATV, UTV organization that, or ad hoc committee that we intend to form. And it's going to be specific to ATVs, UTVs. Other recreational activities, snowmobiles, hiking, biking, horses, all the other things are actually being addressed by the recreational committee within the county. This is going to be specific to ATVs, UTVs. One of the hopes that we have for the approach, and the reason we're taking it to the whole entire county board, is so that we will be able to be more readily recognized and by the state and different agencies that may help with some funding. So that the committee will be able to apply for funding and have much better results due to the fact they are or you will be, hopefully, with approval of the county board. And we've heard no negative feedback, but we'll have a much better group of better understanding of what we are as a specific committee addressing recreational activities in the county with the committee and ATVs, UTVs specifically. So it's going to be on the county board's agenda. It's already been presented for the agenda. Malia is now in the process of writing up a resolution to address the accomplishment of that. And she's going to specifically present it as a Polk County ATV, UTV ad hoc committee. And if you have any other ideas, that's one of the reasons we'd like to have you here and keeping abreast as much as we know on what's going to happen, because hopefully you'll be able to jump into it with both feet right away and get some things going. Some of the activities that you may want to address, or some of the challenges that you may want to address, would probably be in conjunction with your committee meeting and information that you may be receiving through your committee from other resources that we have within the county or any place else. We'll definitely, approach, like the Parks Committee, our commissioner, our Parks man. We've got a recreational officer with the Sheriff's Department. May want to start coordinating with those people. So if you can give it some thought, hopefully we'll be able to get started right away after the county board meeting this month. So, do you have any comments or questions in reference to the somewhat unusual approach, other than the fact that it's normally done that committees, form ad hoc committees that go all the way through the county board for approval.
We'd like to get it opened up from the River Road up to, what is that, Racetrack Road? It's just what is it, a half a mile down there? Or a mile on 87.
Yeah.
We'd like to get that working, and I don't know if we have to work through Mo or who we have to work for. And then down in Osceola, Rick McGuigan isn't here today, but he knows more about that. We need to get a little section in Osceola opened up on the highway to eliminate some of the going around down there. I don't know exactly what that was.
Okay,
And funding on our trails, we have funding for our ATV trails right now. We can always use more. But, you know, some of the projects that we do that aren't funded, then we need to find funding for. Our trails are funded. We get $800 a mile in the summer use trails that we have. And the winter use trails, we get $200 a mile. So we get $1,000 a mile for maintaining our trails through the year on that. But anything that goes off that isn't funded by the DNR or WATFA, you know, we have to find other ways to fund them if we build different until we can get them approved by the DNR if we go off the roads. So that's some of the stuff we'll probably bring up at the meetings when we start working on.
great.
Well,
So
Mr.
we're
Chair,
pretty well ready to go, I think. We've been
Good.
talking about it at our,
Sounds like you're ready to jump right into it.
yeah, yeah.
That's what we were
I'll tell you,
hoping for.
Luck and Osceola, the two clubs from the beginning have saved the day for side by sides. I don't know what we would have done without the two clubs to start out.
Right.
Working with Mo and everybody to get you guys, to get these roads opened up.
Right.
It's taken a lot of pressure off of our trails and stuff. And you know, some of the issues we're having down by Amory, you know, it really took a lot of pressure off of that.
Right. Yeah,
So,
well, that was one of the reasons we hoped it would, to get rid of that conflict. So that-
yeah, yeah, I mean, we can get around it that way. And
Right,
of course, we're not working with snowmobiles, but that's a big issue that we have on the roads. We have to run some of the roads with our other trails. And I don't like running 12-year-old kids on those trails
I think we found that out.
because accidents can happen pretty good. You know, a 12-year-old can ride a snowmobile, 16-year-old can ride an ATV. So they got to have a driver's license, but a 12-year-old doesn't need one on a snowmobile.
Right,
So that's one of the big issues we're having on all our roads here that we gotta come up, because we're getting shut off on land use, you know, on the snowmobile end, but this doesn't have anything to do with that, but
you know, the issues that you're bringing up are all basically the reason that we wanted to approach it through the form that we're doing, through an ad hoc committee, specifically for that.
well, I think it's something we could keep, if we have a committee, we can keep our eye on stuff. You know, what we're seeing coming up, Sheriff's Department and you guys, you know, need us to do something or we need something to approach the board or
And
I
if-
think it'll work good.
If and what you're telling me now in reference to the program that you'll be establishing within your own committee, if we would have gone into the recreational committee that's formed by the county at the present time, that would be totally engulfing their entire meeting for some time, just trying to get your foot in the door. That's one of the reasons I could see the problem that's pretty immense at this particular time. We'll be working out, smoothing out some of the issues in the county and forming a good committee. You got a good start, you got some good ideas.
Well, we
What-
could get,
what
we'll be
you-
able to get some more resources from you guys and
Well, right, and I think some of the, like administrators and other resources that we have available to help you set up a program to hopefully follow and to establish so that you got, and I'd like to be at your first meeting at least and see how you guys are developing and how you develop it or organize the committee. I know Doug was pretty active in it, been very active for a long time, and hopefully we can get up a good program established so that you'll have plenty to do for the next, year or so.
Sure.
Or maybe longer, hopefully longer, but Johnny, you had.
Well, Mr. Chair, I imagine when we take this to the county board with this title, that Malia will have a mission statement, that there'll be a mission statement and have in that mission statement their purpose, and that'll all come from those gentlemen. That'll come from you gentlemen as far as, man, we'll have like safety and funding and enforcement and some of those things will be part of a mission statement for their committee.
Yes, I think, Malia, have you got some notes or some ideas on what to bring up? Make sure that the county board is well aware of what's going on, maybe even some, a synopsis of the minutes that we've got available here at this particular meeting, if we've caught the picture of the idea of the program.
Yeah, and I apologize for not having one,
That's right.
For today's
We've got other
committee.
things that we've been-
but yes, we'll try to encompass in all of the whereas clauses, all of the purposes, to expand and bring people to our county, but also to promote safety and the like. And the reason this committee, we'll put this in the whereas clause, the reason this committee isn't just creating an ad hoc committee that it could under the rules is it wants the empowerment of the full policy-making authority of the county board so that they're more likely to get funding. So we can put all of that in the whereas clauses and then create the committee in the therefore be it resolved. You'll have to provide like the detail as far as the number of members or if it's going to be limited, that kind of
I
thing.
think we've got that, Doug, we've got that pretty well established, haven't we?
We do.
Okay.
Well, Doug will address that. Maybe we would have, hopefully, at the county board meeting, if at least one of you can make it. If any questions come up in reference to what you just explained to us, I mean, that's pretty impressive. And if you were to be available for that purpose and let us know, let the rest of the county board know what you've already got established for a potential.
we'll be kind of.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, that should pretty well cover it for the county board meeting, right? Oh, yeah.
Then the general public will be there'll be a mission statement in place that the general public can read the mission statement.
Well, that'll be part of the resolution.
Yeah.
So do you want this to be in committee of the whole for discussion or you want the board to take action this month?
Take action.
Okay,
That's why we have an early meeting. It's on.
My name is Danny Carlson. I'm with the Polk County Snowmobile Council and ATV, Luck ATV Club is what I'm speaking for, is who I am.
And I'm Doug Johnson, the Vice President of the Polk County Snowmobile and ATV Council. So that's who I represent.
My name is Melvin Smith. I'm an alternate for the committee, and I'm with the Milltown Snowmobile Club and the Buck ATV Club.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, we do have one missing member. That's Rick McWigan, who wasn't able to make it here today. He's from our Osceola ATV organization, southern part of Polk County. Yeah.
Mr. Chair. They had a very bad deal up in Cumberland with that girl that rolled ATV and died instantly. But this is one of the things that, you know, is the safety aspect of it. But it's also hard because she wasn't supposed to use it. And yeah, and she went through her safety things and everything, but she just hit her 90-degree corner, because that's right next to her campground. And so, yeah, that's all I had to comment on.
Yeah, well, so that can be used as a, safety factors, I guess is what we have to emphasize. People will know how to apply it, to their own experiences and readings or whatever they may understand it as. But we do want to make them more aware of the fact that they're on the roads, they're sharing roads with us, they're getting to be more and more of them, so hopefully we'll keep abreast and keep up with what's going on in the county. Anybody else have anything in reference to, I'll go ahead, Steve.
I got a question for being you guys are on the council. So we develop a trail that comes off private land, comes onto a county highway. You run on the county highway for so far, then it goes off again on private or state or whatever. Does your club have liability to cover the entire trail if it's marked as a trail, including roads? Or who's liable should a UTV or ATV on a county road crash? I know on our farm north of Cushing, the snowmobile club accepts all responsibility on the trail. Where's the ATV club as far as that's concerned?
On our winter and summer ATV, we get an easement. We're on DNR property. We don't have any private trails on private property at this time. So the only thing I don't know about the state and county roads. I don't know who's responsible for that, if it is or not. But we have coverage on our railroad grades, winter and summer. We have coverage there, but I can't tell you on the roads. I'm not sure.
Thank you. I think, Malia, we'll probably run into that question ultimately anyway, and I would expect that we've got some statutes protecting us from recreational activities. I think they call it a cherry picker statute or.
Right, there's recreational immunity that generally applies, at least when it comes to the government entity.
Right.
But I think that's something the ad hoc committee could then also address as well.
We'll go on. Well, thanks a lot for being here, and we'll see you on the next committee, at the county board meeting. Well, CJCC. We got anybody that can address it? I was not at the executive. I'm not part of the executive.
Right,
Meeting coming up.
Chad Roberts, who would normally be here to report, has had to leave the state for a funeral. But I can tell you at the last executive committee meeting, it was decided Don Wortham, who's been our interim director, has been re-upped for another 90 days, which I think that was a unanimous vote. We've been very happy with what he has done. We are going to expedite the search, even though we're on kind of a hiring freeze. We're going to expedite that search so that we think in September or October, we'll actually start looking for a CJCC administrator. One of the key takeaways that was agreed upon was this CJCC administrator will be more of an administrator and less of a counselor, so that they can run and oversee the project as opposed to someone who is more, involved in the day-to-day counseling, that type of thing. Let's see if I had anything else. I just think the good news is we will be working that into our budget for next year, as opposed to this year, it was not in our budget. So anything that I think we were under the misperception that it may be self-funding, and it's not. But because it is a priority, as evidence, well, we all know it's a priority, but then also the board put safety and crime reduction and substance abuse as priorities. We are going to have a budget for it, and we hope to increase its effectiveness. As an example, much of the drug work deals with people who, when they first get busted, and then the drug court for somebody who's had multiple arrests, where we want to start looking at ways to address it in between there. So that, it's not just for the first-time offender, and it's not for the 12th time offender, only it's for those people maybe this third or second or fourth time. So we're going to try and beef it up in that regard.
Yeah, thanks, Vince. Anything else, any questions on the CJCC that we might want to bring up or address even at a future? I know there will be a meeting shortly after the county board meeting, I believe, is the scheduled CJCC quarterly meeting. So we'll have something in October for sure to talk about. I guess to understand the complexities of the organization, it's gone through its ups and downs a number of times, and the funding was one big thing. It dropped off when they had to organize as a corporation. But anyway, what have we got on the annual budget then? I don't know, Vince, if you're going to talk about it. We got more water, okay.
Just give you a short update. Currently we're working on the 2021 budget. Some of the larger things on there, the CIP projects, I'll go over those. For 2021, the projects that we're looking at right now are chip seal on County Road Double G, chip seal in County M from Nye to 35 there in Osceola. W3 is an overlay. That's from County Road I to Frederick. County H, both north and south of Highway 8, that's in for a chip seal. County M from Nye to the South County line, that's the federal project that'll go next spring for pavement. on that one. We'll be doing prep work on C from Little Falls to County F. That's a 2023 project. And County D, north of Highway 8, we'll be doing prep work on that 6 miles, and that's a 23 project also on those ones. Our road program right now goes out 6 to 7 years. It's an evolving document that as roads change on that one. On the equipment side, our equipment budget, or CIP, goes out to 2032. Next year, we also have plow trucks in the system. We have a couple crew trucks, replacing a patching trailer, a skid steer that needs updating, and our trench compactor for our culvert repairs is our main ones for next year. Trying to get that line item down, but again, this program is penciled out right now till 2032. As new equipment comes in, the life cycle of the equipment goes out. Otherwise, as far as the main budget for the highway department, with COVID and everything flat, it's going to be pretty much status quo on what they should have. Our construction projects are the same, although we'll be pulling approximately $800,000 from our FAS account for the county land project, our share of that one. So we should be running on schedule with that.
Good. Any questions in reference to the budget review potential? Go ahead.
Mo, have you budgeted in a county police car, light replacement guy, electric guys, but you were talking about hiring somebody that does all the changeovers of the squad cars, and is that in the future, the near future, or
It
is it?
hasn't been programmed in as a new position right now. We're working with the sheriff's department, outfitting a car, see what the costs are, possibly doing that in-house staff with existing staff.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else? Go ahead.
One question I have is, we had our ADRC meeting and stuff, and it was brought up about some kind of a storage for the van so that it don't sit outside in the winter. Is there any place in the county that we could store that? Good question.
Not that I'm aware of, not opening up to other entities. I mean, we do store the sheriff's command center and
Yeah.
winter and summer vehicles, they switch out of there with that, but not currently.
Just a question.
Might be worth keep in mind is, I don't know what space we have over here at the old jail or anything like that, but I'm sure you know better than I do. But
How big's the van?
Like the one over here.
Just a little smaller transport van.
Yes. I think one of the stalls over there.
I know they're used already, but I don't know if there are any extras or not. I see trucks over there all the time, but yeah.
Okay, have any other questions? How about our annual budget? Are you gonna address anything?
The annual budget, right now, we have all the numbers ready to go for our normal tax that we hand out. The finances, we're just waiting for our letter from the auditor, that concurrence letter for the front cover for the, and that'll be all. But the graph is ready to go with the numbers.
Okay, anything else for Mo? All right, thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we have for the next meeting coming up? With no, we should hopefully have a report at least from our newly established, UTV, ATV committee. So we'd like to have that on the agenda. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to address at this time that you're aware of?
No, just that we will have a budget report that we can get into more detail. That's coming.
Okay. The final budget. Right.
Yeah, and it's been tremendous working with all of our divisions, and I feel very good about everything we did this year. I will say that our goal, we're shooting at a flat budget. We're going to be very conservative to say we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I know Mo and his division does a great job of watching everything. Other divisions, we've had some that have come in under budget, and we're going to say, let's keep it flat. Let's don't expect to grow the budget because we still don't know exactly what COVID impact will have and that type of thing.
Do you think we'll get our FEMA check before that budget November 12th?
I think we're going to be getting some close to them. We're actually, and I'm speaking for Chad here, but we're actually starting to submit some paperwork to them now.
I mean the FEMA from the storm.
Oh, yeah, we should have that, I believe, this year. So, yeah.
Jen has a hard time speaking words. He speaks numbers. Yeah. Well, you think of pictures.
Well, but I will say this, but the fact that unfortunately we went through the storms, we were set up administratively to do this. And I know Chad is submitting paperwork as we speak to get reimbursement. And I think it's going to be faster than last time.
Anybody have anything else? What I meant with the presidency vote and announcement today, checks a lot.
I'll meet him in Eau Claire if that helps.
You drop it as you place over.
I take it too.
Is adjourn? Need a motion to adjourn. Johnny? Joe, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign, we stand adjourned.